Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back, everybody. If you've asked those questions of yourself or your life, what's going on? Why am I here? What direction do I go in? We've got answers for you. And she gets those answers by way of the cards. And she's also intuitive. She has mediumship abilities, and she's a fantastic tarot and oracle card reader and so much more. And she's back, and she is Divine Angel Oracle back on the program. Welcome. How are you?
Hi. Good. How are y'all doing?
Doing well. It just cracks me up that you're in California, but you still have a Southern accent.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't think it's ever going to go away.
At this point, I don't think so either. And
Nope.
I've got friends that moved from New York to Florida, and they talk Southern.
And I was like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't say y'all, it's you all.
I find myself doing it, and I'm from New York, so it's all good. Lots to talk about today. Out of the gate, we've done examples of tarot readings, and I believe we did oracle cards as well. The difference between the two, in my mind, I hear that tarot cards can be darker, deeper, where oracle are a little lighter. Is that true?
I believe that's kind of true in a way. The way I try to tell people, tarot is more structured and more rules. There's more of a standard tarot deck. There's always 78 cards in the tarot deck, always. Whereas an oracle deck, you can have any number of cards. It can be 5 cards, it can be 55 cards, it can be 48 cards. And oracle has a message for you, generally on the card itself. And you can open a book and read from the oracle deck. For example, this is the oracle deck.
Gotcha.
And like, I'll pull a card real quick. We'll just pull one. And it says inner trust. So that's kind of like your intuition, trusting your inner intuition. So if I wanted to, it says number 2, I would open up to a book like this one, which comes with it. And we would go to inner trust. And so I already passed it. And then I would read a little bit about it. So let me just read something that says, sometimes what you sense will be more challenging than this and will ask something different of you. And then it'll say, like, it might be that you sense fear and sabotage lurking within someone's intentions or in the situations around you. So it's going to say something about you need to trust your instincts. You need to trust what's going on within you. So it gives you a message. Just like a tarot deck, like I have one here. This is a tarot deck, and it says Tarot of Oneness. And there are all kinds of tarot decks. This is different than the Rider-Waite, and the Rider-Waite is the one that most people use beginning. And this is a Rider-Waite deck. Like, I pulled the Fool. This is what it looks like, a Rider-Waite. And the Fool is actually new beginnings. Like, he looks like he's going off a cliff, and the dog's trying to warn him. So he's kind of like, la, 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 I'm going off for a new beginning, a new life. The Fool is the number 1 card in the deck, the major arcana. There's a major arcana and a minor arcana in the decks, than the tarot. And this is the major arcana. So it's a big deal. This is a big deal if you pull the Fool card. So this is the number 1 card starting out in the journey of tarot. The Fool card. I happen to pull that one. So it's like a new beginning, a new journey in life.
You pulled that. Was there any particular reason why you pulled that? I mean, how did that all come about, that particular card?
It could be that there's a new take on life. I have some things going on personally in my life, so that's probably why I pulled that one.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, that makes sense for me. And then I'm going to choose one from this deck, Tarot of Oneness, which, this deck is beautiful. And there's actually 4 extra cards in this deck. Sometimes they'll throw in extra cards like higher self and I hope I don't pull that one because this is a new deck for me. So I pulled 8 of Cups. So this is saying cut the strings, kind of moving away from something. You're getting in the tarot deck of the Rider-Waite, it shows, I think it's a boat moving away from something, the 8 of Cups. And so it's saying cut the cord. When I use symbolism with this, it's saying, let go, get rid of it. And Cups has to do with relationships. So there's certain rules in tarot that you know when you're reading a tarot deck. So the 8 of Cups, cups has to do with relationships and people and things like that. So there's actually 4 things in a tarot deck that you have cups, you have wands, you have swords, and you have pentacles. Every tarot deck will have that in it. Whereas an oracle deck will not have that in it. And
So
then there'll be 1 through 10 or ace through 10.
is it your experience? And I know that you had your first deck when you were like 17. Like,
I have this
wee.
one.
Wow. And when you're reading, let's say you have somebody with you,
Mm-hmm.
or you do it virtually, whatever it might be, and you're going to pull cards on them. What inspires the pulling of the card? Is it the energy? Is it you're calling upon your spirits? Are you feeling their energy in directing you to pull a particular card?
I shuffle, and sometimes it's the feel of the card, like it might be heavier, or sometimes they just fly out. Like they'll call them a gosh, I just have the word can't think of it right now, but they will just fly out. It's a, oh my gosh, I said it last week. um a runner or something like that. I can't remember now. If someone knows, they can type it in. Tell us. um it's a, oh my gosh, I can't remember right now. But anyway, it's a card that just happens to run out, happens to flip out. That one I'll definitely take. A jumper. It's called a jumper.
Jumper. Okay.
Yes, a jumper. Those are definitely saying, hey, pick me, pick me, pick me. But usually, like if I'm shuffling, I'll shuffle another one. Like when I'm shuffling, sometimes like this one stood out to me, the Wheel of Fortune and the 8 of Wands. So the Wheel of Fortune has to do with cycles of life or luck.
Hmm.
And then the 8 of Wands has to do like an action. And I can't remember 8 of Wands. So if I don't remember 8 of Wands exactly, I'll say, let me look it up. And then I'll look up 8 of Wands, and it's right here. And I'll say, oh yeah, it has to do with speed and progress, moving forward, fast paced, and things like that. So that's what it has to do with. So the cycle means, the Wheel of Fortune means it's moving more forward. It's not going backwards. So the cycle, the Wheel of Fortune's moving forward for me. So that's a good thing.
Hmm. There's so much to learn here.
I
And
know.
that's where, the experience comes in. And I'm sure, there's times where you're not sure and you gotta check the book. Let's
And
go.
I do, just like the 8 of Wands. I was like, oh, let me just double check that because I'm not really 100% sure. And I wasn't really feeling it from a message, I didn't hear it. But
Pendulum.
I saw it in the, it was action. I knew it was action because I saw the card and I was like, so it's forward action.
Pendulum. Can we do that? Can we talk about that?
Yeah. Let me get my pendulum.
Sure.
This is a pendulum. And what a pendulum does is it'll move back and forth, or it'll move this way, or it can move angled. Okay. And the way I use a pendulum is, of course, I sage it and I pray over it and things like that before I use it. And I'll have like either I don't even have to have anything down here that says yes, no, maybe, or anything like that. I can just do it without that. But you want to ask it questions, yes, no, maybe, or undecided, whatever. And depending on what you'll say is to the pendulum, you'll say a question, say, like, am I getting married? Will I get married? And then, well, first you want to say, tell me which direction is yes.
Okay.
And then it'll move, and then it's going, this way is yes, like this way.
Okay.
And then we know this way is no. And then the sideways like this is undecided, maybe. So we would ask it a question and it would tell me yes or no, depending on which way it goes.
Can I ask it a question?
Sure.
Do you have to be specific or can you think it? Something you're thinking of.
You have to tell me.
I have to tell you. Let me think then. Serious relationship for me in the next 5 months. Do you see it?
Okay. Okay. Do we see a serious relationship with Steve? in the next 5 months? Up and down was yes, correct?
Just
Yeah, yes.
front
It
to
says
back.
yes. It says yes.
Interesting.
So well, you'll have to write me and let me know.
Well, here's why I'm asking that. Here's why I'm asking that. I have been told in the past year that that's going to take place in 2023 and somewhere in the second half of 2023, somewhere around there. An astrologer, feng shui, Chinese astrologer. That was another one. Somebody connected with energy, tarot, somewhere, and it all kind of keeps pointing in that direction. So I figured, all right, and it
That's
backs up.
funny.
It backs kind of up what everybody is saying.
And this said yes also.
And that said yes also. So yeah, I'm in a situation now. Don't know where it's going to go, but maybe that is the situation, and we'll find out. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Oh, I might get married.
That's what I mean, but the seriousness of it might
Yeah.
be, you know.
No, I know. What about manifestation? Like so many of us try to do it. We wonder if we're doing it right. I can tell you straight out of the gate here that I believe it works, not just because of the things I manifested that I wanted, but more so for the things that I used to say that came true that weren't necessarily very positive.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Yeah.
is my confirmation. Like, oh, okay. Well, like, be careful what you ask for. And it would just be a statement. It was just something I was feeling. And I would say it on a regular basis, not a regular basis, but every once in a while. And it all came to fruition. It all
Be
came true.
careful what you think and be careful what you say.
That's just it. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you think negative thoughts, you're going to bring that into your energy. You're going to bring that into your life. For example, I'll give you an example. I've left my front door open for multiple times. And
Just
most people are like,
unlocked. You mean unlocked?
Unlocked.
Okay.
People are like, why do you do that? Well, you're crazy. And I'm like, because I believe I'm not going to be robbed. I truly, honestly believe I'm not going to be robbed. They're like, you're crazy. And I'm like, no, I have it in my subconscious belief is no one's going to touch me. No one's going to rob me. No one's going to hurt me. You know, I truly believe that I'm divinely protected.
Hmm.
And people think I'm crazy. And I'll be honest with you. And, you know, people probably think, oh, she's a Looney Tune. No one has come up to hurt me in my lifetime. Personally, like I don't even get hate on my social media.
I think it's a force field of positivity in what you
Mm-hmm.
put out there. And you just brought back a memory. That's how my mind works. Somebody will say something and things come down. My mom always used to be very protect, watch out, lock this up, watch the doors. Yeah, couldn't even walk in the door, even when I was 28, 30, walking through the door, locked behind me. And
Mm-hmm.
the house got robbed once.
There's a prime example.
Yeah.
I mean, I've even gone to sleep with the door unlocked and whatever, and by myself without anybody hearing, my husband or anybody, door unlocked, whatever. And I wake up, I'm like, oh, I didn't lock the door. Oh well, nothing happened.
And to
But
your
people would be
point,
like, oh my god, oh my god.
I have a friend. Very close, and she never locks her car. Brand new car, never locks it. It's going to be all right. I'm not worried about it. And she's convinced that nobody's going to
No
break
one's
into
gonna
the
hurt
car.
her. Mm-hmm.
And it kind of seems that way. There's never, she's not even worried about it.
And I'll give you another prime example. I'm driving down Los Angeles, you know, worst place to find parking. And I'll say, please God, lead me to the parking place that I need. And I'll get parking every time.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Do the same thing. I'd have to say 95% of the time
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
happens.
90, 95, 90, 99. I mean,
Yeah.
there might be a couple of times I haven't, but I still find parking. And parking is unreal in Los Angeles and Hollywood and all those areas. Because my daughter's an actress and we had to always find parking for auditions.
Yeah. Yep. I'm totally with you there. There are villages and towns in this area where I'll go on a
Mm-hmm.
summer Saturday night. I'm not going to find any parking. No, there's a space waiting for me. The only thing I'll do is I'll put into the universe when I'm asking for that space. If somebody needs it more than me,
Mhm.
let's say they're handicapped or
That's
whatever,
good.
I throw it out there. If they need it, let them take it. No problem. And there was one time, summer Saturday night, crowded village, threw it out there, and I was running late and I really needed to
Mhm.
get a space. And I'm just throwing it out there. I'm going neck and neck with another guy looking for a space. And would you know it? Two cars pull out. And I look at him, I'm like, that one's yours if you want it. Go for it. And he had his family and everything with him. And then I took the other one and we're all good to go. But
That is fabulous.
just like you say, if you throw it out there and people, I'm sure you get the same thing. They look at you like, yeah, okay, right. No, I'm
Yeah,
serious.
they do.
I'll be driving in a car with somebody. I'll say, yeah, we're gonna get a space. It's gonna be a good space. Just hang on. Just sit tight. Got to make a couple
Don't
more
be
moves.
negative. Don't say anything.
Right. Yes, thank you. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
don't put
watch.
your negative energy out there. Let's just keep it positive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's just like you said, that's one example of manifestation.
Hmm.
What are some of the things that we should do to manifest? Obviously be positive, but what else?
Another thing is visualize it happening.
Hmm.
Constantly, like, put it in your mind, like actually visualize it happening to you. Write it down as though it's happened,
Hmm. Hmm.
like journal it.
Hmm. Okay.
Those are things. I actually, before I go to bed, I will visualize things that are happening in my life that if it's not working out for me like I want it to, I'll put it in the atmosphere or the universe or pray to God to please put it the way I believe I need it. And sometimes maybe the way you need it is not the way you need it, and God's putting it in a different direction for you.
Hmm.
But I
Yeah.
usually try my best to put it in that universe or to God. I'm like, this is how I see it, and this is the way I want it to happen. And generally, most of my life, the things that I visualize have happened for me. For example, when I was in college, I had a cute little car, a little GT Celica with a sunroof, and I was driving back and forth from Athens, Georgia to Marietta, Georgia. And it was a 2 hour drive. And I visualized myself being in a white sports car. I really wanted a Corvette, but I was like, when I graduate, I'm getting a sports car. But I imagined myself sitting in that sports car already driving. And I'm like, I'm going to get a sports car. And, I was like, imagining myself already in that sports car. When I graduated, right before I graduated, I went to Dodge and I got me a Dodge White Stealth. I don't know if you remember those cars.
Uh-huh.
I was like, but it wasn't a Corvette. But I was like, but it still was, because I didn't actually imagine in the Corvette. I just imagined a sports car, really, like just a sports car. So you got to be specific if you want specifics.
That still was a nice car. My friend had a red one.
That was a nice, fun car. I had it for a long time. I had it for like
Yeah.
4 or 5 years.
Wow. Yeah, it's specific. I'm glad you said that. Even if you're trying to manifest your perfect partner, it's
Hmm.
got to be specific. Now, you have to have, like with the sports car,
Hmm.
some latitude. Let's
Hmm.
say you're
Hmm.
picturing somebody with dark hair, dark eyes. They might not show up, but that might not be. You might find the perfect person in somebody else that
Hmm.
shows up, and maybe that's what the universe had for you. But you got to be open
Right.
to it. You got to be open
And
to it.
that makes me think about when you said vision, like a vision board. Like vision boards are great. So if you ever, want to take a vision board class, or what you do is you cut out magazines or print off things from online that you might find that you couldn't find in a magazine. Like, for example, you might do it on your relationship, you might do it on career, you might do it on travel, and put little sections on a vision board and put it in front of your face every day and look at that vision board. And those are things that'll happen for you. And I do one generally every year. I haven't done mine yet, but I've cut out the magazine article stuff.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I just thought of, remember Pinterest? It still exists, and it's kind of the same thing
Hmm.
where you're saving links or
Hmm.
pictures, and
Hmm.
the only thing is you should put that on your desktop so you look at it every single day.
Right.
Just an easy way to do it. Hey, you're scrolling through. Oh, there's the vet I was looking for. Let me
There's
put
the
that there.
house I want in the future.
Yeah, it's
And when I was a
funny.
little girl, I wanted to start a curved staircase all my life. I finally got one.
Seriously.
Yeah. I'm not living in it right now, but I finally did get one. I didn't say I want to stay in it all my life.
Right.
I did manifest it.
It's funny when I'm in between houses right now.
Mhm.
Um, it was just the right time to sell in the terms of the market. I was going to buy another one very quickly. I was like, I'm going to tap the brakes on that. And this is only literally 6 months ago. But in my mind, I know what I want. I know the style of what I want. It's
Mhm.
very clear to me.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, I haven't manifested it. I really haven't. I just think, yeah, if it happens, it happens. But why not think about it? What do you got to lose?
Yeah. Yeah. Think about it harder if you want it to happen.
That's just it. And for
Mhm.
everybody that, looks at this and says, "Yeah, oh, that's woo woo foo foo stuff.
Mhm.
What do you got to lose?
What do you have to lose, right? Try it and write it down and give it a try and just see what happens for you.
What about when you put it out into the universe? You were very descriptive of it. People tell me you just put it out there, maybe you revisit it again and let it go. Let it
Yeah,
go.
you can do that too. Hmm.
Because it's a negative if you turn around and say, all right, where is it? I asked for it. It's not here. Now you've just
And
turned it into a
sometimes it's
negative.
divine timing.
And then there's that. Yeah.
Hmm.
But if you're questioning it or saying it, when is it
Then
going to
that's
show up?
negative when you're questioning it.
Right. So you just derail the whole process.
Hmm.
Just got to keep it positive. Um, let's go into crystals real quick. We've never
Okay.
talked about crystals.
I think
Uh,
we have a couple of times, but that's okay.
what's your go-to? Your go-to crystals?
Um, well, selenite is a big one because it's the angelic crystal, and I'm divine angel oracle.
Well, I don't know if I ever showed this to you, but I got
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's
I
it's
love.
ready to go.
Yes, and
Um,
this one you cannot put in water or it will dissolve.
is it true? And I've heard this. I don't know, but that the selenite can recharge other crystals.
Yes, it's definitely a charger. Hmm.
So that being said, if you have, let's say you have a bracelet like I have
Hmm.
here.
Like this.
Yep, and I have, with
Hmm.
chakra colors on there.
Yeah.
If I were to put this on the selenite and leave it, let's say overnight or whatever,
Hmm.
would it recharge those?
Yes.
Hmm. Well,
And to recharge your selenite is to put sage, to burn sage over your selenite.
oh, all right. We're going to be doing that one in a little bit.
Yeah.
Sage, Palo Santo, difference between them.
Yes. Sage helps to clear negative energy, and then Palo Santos puts positive energy in your space.
Gotcha. So if you were to get sage or Palo Santo spray,
Hmm.
you might not know if it's pure Palo Santo or it's derived from it.
Hmm.
Is it also the intention that you put into it?
Yes, I believe it's the intention also.
Yeah. Because I've wondered about that. I have, we're holding your stick of sage. I got one right over here.
Hmm.
Um, Palo Santo, I have Palo Santo spray. I don't think it's real Palo Santo. I really don't.
Hmm.
But I always wonder if you have the right intention, could you get the same result?
Right. And so you not believing it, then I wouldn't use it.
Yeah, I don't believe it's real.
But if
Um,
you, while you're spraying it, believe that's putting positive energy in your space,
that's what I'm saying.
then that's good. Hmm.
I mean, essentially, you could be spraying
Water.
Windex.
Yeah.
As long as your intention is there, I'm thinking that it may be reasonable to think that it would work.
I'll give you another example. On my website, I have where I put diffused crystals in my water that's been prayed over, or the full moon water. I'll put in my diffuser and I'll put crystals. I put citrine, rose, quartz, and amethyst in my diffuser and diffuse the water out during a session that's virtual. And the reason why I do that is I believe it's like prayer. It knows no distance.
Yep, I'm right there with you. I even know somebody who blesses his water,
Yeah.
like call it Reiki, but he'll just take his hand.
It's the same thing. It's like what's his name? Moto. Dr. Moto. Emoto. He crystals. You should look that up, Dr. Emoto.
Hmm.
If you pray over your water, it has these positive, beautiful crystals in the water, Dr. Emoto did a study about that. And if you start talking mean to your water, like you do plants, they'll die. And the water will show up ugly under a microscope.
Now that I'm thinking about this, the guy that told me that he blesses his water, he might have gotten it from that doctor.
Dr. Emoto, yeah.
And simply all he says is, with his hand over the glass of water, bottle, whatever, I honor the space in which you exist. And he says, I can even feel heat coming out of it, coming out of the water. Rising.
Think about it. Our body's made up of so much water.
Right.
And if we're positive to our body, which is made up of water, we're going to feel so much better.
Yeah.
And we're going to be better. We're just going to be overall a better person. And people are going to want to be around you because you attract good energy. But if you're negative and people don't want to be around you, and then you're not even going to be around yourself.
And then there's that. and you can't figure out
you get sick and cancer and all that stuff,
Yeah. Yep. Because you manifested, maybe not in a direct way, but you're manifesting negativity, which is never going to go well.
Right.
What's your website, Divine Angel?
It's Starry Sky Connections with an S.com. And I just changed to 2 R's, STARRY, Starry Sky SKY Connections.com. And then I changed my Instagram to my name, the Carrie Beaird. And my last name is spelled weird. Beaird, has 3 vowels.
Gotcha. See, I
Carrie Beaird.
I just know you as the Divine Angel Oracle. That's it.
Yeah.
You'll always be. But if anybody's looking for readings, help in manifestation, or just some kind of intuitive outlook on life, you're available. You respond to people, free consult if they have questions. Well, okay, awesome. Yeah, learned a lot today. It's funny. Before we even went on, here's trade secret. We didn't know what we were going to talk about. We just figured, all right, let's see what. And you know what? Lots of detail, lots of insight on all of that, and got to start manifesting that new car. Got to get on that.
That's right. In your house.
And that house, I'm on that too.
And your relationship.
That might just happen on its own. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it says with this, yes.
And you know what? It's in line with what everybody else has said. And call it a coincidence. I believe there are none. There's something there. So we'll see. I'll invite you to the wedding. Great talking with you. See, I manifested that. I don't know if I should have. Because people say to me, will you ever get married again? And I'm like, well, then I say, never say never.
Exactly. Never say never.
Never say never. Yeah. Because you don't know. You don't know what life has for you. All right. Always great talking with you. And
you too.
Look forward next time. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Be well.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.